Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. I hope you're doing well. I've got a great video for you today. Important information if you are applying for small business funding or individual funding and you've been denied, how to explain credit issues, how to authorize the lender to look into things. In particular, I'll put this in the context of the SBA and EIDL loans and increases because we know hundreds of thousands of you are waiting for EIDL increases, EIDL reconsiderations. But before we go any further, in the next video, I will be talking about how the SBA is determining who's eligible for EIDL loan increases, particularly increases over $500K. They have a formula they use to determine repayment ability. I'm going to go into that. I know it's going to be a massive help to so many of you who are wondering three things. Number one, am I eligible for more money? Number two, how's the SBA going to determine if I'm eligible or not? And number three, if I'm not eligible for the full amount, how much more can I get? Again, these are loans. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hit subscribe. You'll get an alert as soon as we post the next video, and like this video so others see it. But I'll keep today's video short. Let me start with EIDL reconsideration via the portal. You know, this is new for many applicants as of a few days ago. Most people still will not see this as far as I can tell, but in some cases, the SBA is now saying to apply for reconsideration, log into your SBA portal, then click the upload documents and you'll see something like this. So let me zoom in here. Apologies, it's a little blurry, but of course there's your favorite, the IRS form 4506T. There's also the schedule of liabilities. Now there are two new things here that I want to call your attention to: delinquent credit issues explanation and repull credit authorization. So let's say the SBA declines you for delinquent credit issues. They now have a custom way for you to upload an explanation. There are do's and don'ts when it comes to providing explanations when you're looking for funding. Here's a quick guide. This is from Rocket Mortgage. What's a letter of explanation? I want to read this part to you here. The information the underwriter sees, in this case, the SBA loan officer, doesn't always tell your entire financial story. If there's one thing I've heard from talking to so many of you, and our entire team has heard too, there's always so much more to your situation, your story, and the trouble is always explaining that to an SBA loan officer whose job is to process tens of thousands of applications. That's the most frustrating part, the most difficult part. The SBA is trying to process millions in an efficient way, while also allow some room for nuance. But of course, that is always the difficult part, to have a loan officer really digest your situation and understand it. So the fact that they have this up is a good sign. Let me keep reading here. An underwriter may request a letter of explanation from you if they're unsure about something they see. A letter of explanation is a brief document you can use to explain anything in your financial or employment documents that might make an underwriter pause. For example, you may need to write a letter of explanation if you have unusual or sudden activity in your credit report or banking statements. So a few points if this applies to you on how to write a letter of explanation. By the way, if you're interested in a template for a letter of explanation, let me know in the comments. We can certainly do a template like we've done in the past with some of the reconsideration templates. You should have the current date, the SBA address and information, one or more paragraphs that provide information that the lender asked for, be as detailed as possible and include dates, dollar amounts, account numbers, any identifying documentation that backs up your claims, copies of bills of sale, title transfers, marriage licenses. You can include that in the template and as an attachment. Of course, your full legal name and information, your mailing address, and in the case of EIDL loans, your EIDL application number. But I want to highlight this: the key to writing a great letter of explanation is to keep it short, simple, and informative. If you've used our template in the past, you know it is very short and to the point. That's always the key. Be short and to the point. As much as you want to tell your whole story, keep it short and to the point. And as I always say, it's better to have a loan officer get in touch with you to ask more information if they need it. The key is always getting their attention, getting them to open up your file to look at it and say, okay, and then decide to either call you or email you to ask for more information. Now, there's also a repull credit authorization form if the SBA decides they want to look at your credit again. The standard SBA form looks like this. You hereby authorize the SBA in reference to your SBA loan number to basically verify information that they need to do. So I'm glad to see this because one of the things that surprised me is how many cases I've heard of people getting approved for EIDL increases and never once had a loan officer call them to verify information, especially for folks that have gotten the full $2 million loans. Many have said, you got the approval letter and that's it. no due diligence, no phone calls. Certainly we know lots of people will take these loans and not be able to repay them. That's a huge risk. If you're getting a $2 million SBA loan, that means your monthly payments when they start are going to be $10,000 a month, and over the course of the 30-year loan, you will be paying $1.3 million in interest. So think about that for a minute. Now, a quick sneak preview on our EIDL cash flow analysis calculator. I mentioned I'll talk about this in detail in the next video. This is basically the formula loan officers are using to understand and calculate your cash flow and determine if you're eligible for the loan amount you're requesting. I'm going to talk about all of that in detail, and we're adding a couple new things in here. That's why I'm not covering it today, but stay tuned for that and hit subscribe so you find out first when this goes live. And not only will help you understand how the SBA is making determinations by and large, of course it's for illustrational purposes only, how much you may be eligible for. If you get declined for a certain reason, well then what might you be approved for? And you know, the SBA's perspective is always they want to help as many small businesses as possible. They want you to have a deep understanding of your situation, how they're making decisions, and if it's right for your business. Again, these loans aren't for everyone. I want to reemphasize that EIDL loans should not be taken by everyone, but for many of you watching, this is the right move. And whether it's your original amount or an increase, it will help stabilize or grow your business. To end today on the positive economic news, stocks finish higher after strong earnings reports. The Dow's up 500 points. S&P 500 notched its best performance since March. All of the S&P 500 sectors rose, with materials, technology stocks leading. Would love to hear what you think about that. And as always, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. And we'll be picking our first batch of Skip affiliates tomorrow. So last call to express your interest. The link is right in the description. It's a great way to earn extra money per month. And one-on-one support for anything EIDL or funding related, we've got you. We've just opened up 10 more spots. If you've been on the fence, now's the time to at least book a time to talk with us and go from there. The link is right at the top of the description. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.